I've been sorting through a lot of stuff that's in my head now. Some things have me scared now. Don't you leave me here for dead now. I've been sorting through a lot of things that's in my head now. A lot of things that have me scared now. Don't you leave me here for dead now.
Look.
No, look.
But
No,
that's what he said in the song.
but that's not what we doing here.
Look. I got greens, beans, chickens, tomatoes.
See, in the last episode, you said you didn't eat those, so.
In the last episode, I said I don't mess with them.
Eating, that's what's all same thing.
No, it's not. Get on my nerves.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Marquise.
And this is your one and only your favorite Taylor.
Welcome back to You Stuck With Me podcast, y'all.
You stuck. You stuck with me.
Before we hit this podcast episode off, want to make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, share, review, all that good stuff. When you do that, we get more people who can get to see the content.
And plus, it creates more opportunities for us to share this lovely content with you.
Amen to that, sister.
Amen.
So, beautiful, how do you feel?
I feel a yawn coming on.
She got world record yawns,
Excuse
y'all.
me.
She's in the Guinness Book for the most yawns in 30 seconds.
Face to fist right now.
Never.
Yes.
But look, yeah, in this episode, we're talking about how social media can negatively and positively affect relationships depending on who's in them.
Basically, like the song says, expectations. Like, we're going to dive deeper into those expectations that we see on social media and or even within our own inner circle.
Yeah, and even within our relationship, because, I'm going to start this off. So, I think that speaking on our relationship, I think that some of the things that we've personally seen on relationships where it comes from social media, I think that we try to look at it through the most constructive lens, but we also need to take into account that, or we also do take into account that depending on how long it is, you never get the full context, whether it's a 15-second clip or a 2-minute video. Sometimes you just don't get the context. So I think that sometimes we're left to draw our own conclusions on how we feel about whatever the topic is in that video, whether it's for good or for bad.
But I mean, that's kind of the reason why, part of the reason why us and other individuals create content to spark conversation.
Agreed.
And then depending what direction you're going into, maybe you want to cause controversy. Maybe you want to be the one to quote unquote go against the grain or whatever like that. It all depends.
Yeah, and I think when you see a lot of these things on social media, the big thing that we draw from these content creators is that they're trying to send a message or push something, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. And I think that depending on the person who's seeing this content, you got to learn to use discernment, because some things are just trying to make you look a certain way or make the video look a certain way. But also, there are people out there who are content creators who do have positive messages and have no ill intent to start anything. Like the first person I think of is Tabitha Brown, because every time you see her on social media, she's giving somebody or something, blessing, trying to encourage people. And I think we need more of them in the social media space. And I know it's a lot of people who use social media and they're content creators, but and they're trying to push a message of positivity. They just don't have the big enough platform so people can see it. But you don't have to necessarily always have a negative point of view on a topic for a video to go viral.
I mean, that's a good example, but then we always see it. We always see it in the music too, right? Like, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of gospel music, right? I'm just using gospel music as an example. I'm a big fan of gospel music. You know, we all familiar with Kirk Franklin and everything. I remember I was watching an interview, numerous interviews with Kirk Franklin. where he talked about like some of these tours and stuff he doing, that came out of his own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Because gospel artists, they don't get the same backing as like you do a R&B artist or a hip hop artist or anyone in the secular realm, which I thought was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So just same with content creation. I feel like a certain genre of content creation gets those views, gets that support because it's something that's like right now and immediate, right? And just like with life, most likely somebody's gonna remember a negative effect than they would a positive one.
I think also one of the things that people tend to do when they're trying to push content about relationships, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, it's the shock value.
Yeah.
So when you shock people with a video, they're more inclined to stick around and see what it's fully about, and maybe even go looking for that content creator.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm guilty of it. I mean, it's content creators I like out there that I like, and the shock value would, it would catch my attention. So even if it's not something that's a shock value, but something that you can relate to, and those tend to be the most funny ones, especially when they're amongst couples, and it's like you sit there and like we go through the same thing.
Yeah, but then also too, you got to think about your audience, your target audience. Of course, you're gonna gravitate more to relation stuff like that because you're married, you're a married man in
Mm-hmm.
a relationship. Sometimes, what about those who are not in a who are not married or not even in a relationship?
I mean, it depends on the reason for them watching the content. I mean, obviously, we've learned that our content is not going to reach everybody, or not everybody's going to like our content. We're cool with that, but for the ones who do like our content, we're trying to reach out to them, and just sometimes we just want to do something funny that we're not the only married couple that goes through that, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
topic may be. But also, we try to push content where it makes people think and reshaping the way that they view marriage, relationships, things of that nature. And we never want to send the wrong message to the people that we're trying to reach with our content. But we have to be careful about what we say and how we move, because not only the people who are consuming our content watching us, but the people who know us and know that we do content, but they know us personally, we have to make sure that we're always, not seen in the bad light.
Please, what you see is what you get with me.
You so silly.
I'm just saying.
No, but you're right though, because we don't like to give up this facade that everything's good with us all the time, blase blase,
Hell no.
because Exhibit A.
Exhibit A. Like, y'all know I'm trying. I'm that cousin that been tried 50 million times to stop this cussing. And would do. I've been better.
You've been better.
I've been better. I haven't dropped any F bombs this season yet.
I give you that. I agree with that. But I'm just saying, when it comes to relationships and social media, you also have to be careful what you consume, because you have a lot of people who are jaded and just have a lot of negative things to say about being in a relationship, whether it be coming from a man or a woman. Those are the ones that they have their reasons for why they do it, but it's not content that I would like to really consume. I like to consume more of a marriage content, or relationship content that leaves a positive message that I like to receive. And when we come over here and do our podcast, or when we post something on the net, we like to make light of it, make jokes of it, but nothing ever too negative. If we have enough negative content out there, we don't want to add to it.
So, with you saying that, it kind of reminds me of a previous conversation we had since we talking about expectations,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I was like, it's funny how we put out this content, we give a glimpse of our lives to an extent. Sorry. It took give a glimpse to our lives to an extent. Um I've been hearing a lot more often that we're couple goals.
Okay.
And I just want to unpack that expectation. I receive it, but I don't accept it.
Yeah, I feel you on that one because, and this is why we appreciate the comment, but we don't accept it because one, we're still trying to figure out marriage as we go. It's not like something that's set in stone saying, okay, you got to do this, and this, and also we make mistakes in our own relationship. So,
and that's what I was getting ready to say. That's why I wanted to clear it up a little bit, saying that we receive it, but I don't want to speak for you, babe. We receive it, but I don't accept it only because, to me, that's putting us on a high pedestal to a point where you be like, okay, well, Marquise and Taylor have did this and it works for them, but it's not working for me. Or Marquise, what would Marquise and Taylor do? Half the time, Marquise and Taylor don't know what they doing. We just wing it, right? And also, too, what works for us may not work for the next person. And I don't want us to be placed on a pedestal where on anybody's personal pedestal where they, refer to us, then that one thing happened. It's like all damnation. And
everything bad.
Everything bad. Like it crushes your whole world and all this other stuff.
Because, we've seen what happens when, people put a certain couple or a certain person on a pedestal and then, something bad happens, whether it be legally or, whatever the case may be. And now all of a sudden everybody's turning on them. Like we've seen that with a lot of people. We saw that. I still hear people bring up the reason why Michael Jordan's father died because he owed gambling debt, which is not true. And that's another thing. People spreading false narratives that have nothing to do with whatever's going on about the person that in question.
Or even like the couples that are, still married and seem like they have it all together. Like it's like the connotation, like, oh, he's a cheater. He just ain't got caught yet, or she don't really love that man. She just in it for the money, stuff like that.
And how many times I actually see that on like in comments underneath a video or something, and it's even happened to us. So
what?
So we put out a video about going to the Janet concert. Remember when I was making the joke about
Oh yeah.
And then I put up another one saying that we went to the concert. So I remember getting this comment under that video, and somebody was like, "Oh, he can't control his woman." Ha ha ha. I'm like,
control.
So I looked at that. I'm like, you gather all of that out of a 45-second, 1 minute video. How?
And again, that just goes. I say control like that because it's like control, like what?
Yeah, and this is something that people don't often understand, but we do as content creators. What people see in that video is what they want to curate, what they want people to see.
What they are allowing you to see.
Mm-hmm. And you're never really going to get the full context of what these people, whoever you're watching, are like unless you know them personally.
Yeah, we get that all the time.
Mm-hmm. And, that's one of the things I've been learning about, our relationship being on social media. We put out what we want to put out, but that doesn't mean that whoever's watching it knows us down to the T. And it's not right, nor is it fair for people to assume something about us. But, people do it every day. And as a content creator, it's part of the course. It's going to happen.
It's not right, but it's okay. I'm gonna make it anyway.
That was well timed.
Pack your bags up and leave, and don't you dare come running back to me.
I was with you up to that latter part, but okay. I was just gonna let you cook.
Just saying, that's how the song go.
It does.
Friday night. What is it? Friday night, you and your boys went out to eat. Yes, you did.
Now you're venturing a little off topic. No, but seriously, just excuse me, just seeing how people react to relationship statuses and videos on social media. You're gonna have your people who are gonna support your content, but you're also gonna have people who just come in there and they just want to troll and all this other stuff. But social media has a strong, profound effect on people who are single, who are in a relationship, who are married, who want to be married, but they just looking for guidance. I will say, if you're looking for guidance on social media about getting married, I wouldn't suggest doing that. I think that you would have to just talk to people around you if you have that village, or talk to your friends who are married, because we have friends who are married and we have friends who are not married. And friends who are not married, every now and then they'll ask us a question about being married and things that we've dealt with, because we don't. I'm pretty sure just about every married couple is like this. You don't see everything behind closed doors of what's going on with that couple. So to put any couple on a pedestal is actually kind of dangerous, because you get a false sense of what marriage is like, and not the ugly parts, the arguments, the disagreements, things of that nature.
So it's funny that you said that, because it reminds me, I was at an event, right? And it was this young lady there. She had been married, let's just say, for like between 20 and 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just giving advice to like all the young women there who are looking for their person, who's dating and stuff like that, right?
Right.
And she made this interesting comment. I'm not gonna say I totally agree with it, but I totally don't disagree with it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like in the gray area with it. So she was like, word of advice: don't use experiences alone to, help you use discernment when dating and stuff. And I'm just like, I was taken aback by it, because it's like not everybody has that resource or that couple they can go to for advice when for like serious or long-term dating or eventually leading to marriage. I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't have it, but for example, my parents had been divorced as long as I can remember. So
Mm-hmm.
all I knew was my mom, dating and stuff like that, and my dad remarrying and dating and all that stuff. So it's like you telling me not to use experiences, but it's like half of the time through my dating experience, it was basically through experience, like going through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like with that, it's kind of a gray with me, because you saying, you got to use discernment when you're referring to social media content for like what a relationship looks like, or what is this supposed to look like. But what if that person, that's their only
Outlet.
outlet?
I mean, that's a good question. I think that's a fair question. But to go back to what you were saying, you gotta use discernment. So if you're gonna consume content that's about relationships, try to consume the most realistic ones or the most positive ones. Now, it's probably not a lot of them out there, but if you look for it, you'll find it. I mean,
But
yeah,
Steve, but I'm sorry not to cut you off, but you're saying most realistic and everything like that. But what classifies as that? Because everybody's point of view or perspective is different on that. What seems realistic to you may not seem realistic to me.
I agree, but that's when you use discernment. You gotta make that call.
Mm.
When you look at it, you say, okay, there may be some truth to this, or maybe a lot of truth to this, because let's be honest, on social media, whether it's a funny video or whatever have you, there's some truth in each video. All you gotta do is discern which part you take, which part that you don't take, what you accept, what you don't accept.
And yeah, I mean, there are some people that don't know how to use discernment, or they're using discernment is not a strong suit for them.
I can see why you say that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just say when it comes to social media and relationships, we have some people who their goal is to just completely tear down relationships and say that, and that's how we get these arguments, men supposed to be doing this, women supposed to be doing that. And you get these people who have think tanks talking about that they won't submit to their husbands or they won't submit to their wives. And some words get a bad connotation like submission, because people have their own ideas what it is, instead of looking up and what it truly means. And to expound on this a little bit, when it comes to marriage, it's not about, you submitting to me, and I'm not submitting to you, vice versa. We both submit to each other because when we do this thing called marriage, we are one. So we need to move accordingly, make sure that we have clear clear communication between us.
You touching on a topic we might talk about later on in the season, so I'm about to stop you there.
I mean, I see why, but
Stop you there.
But just for the sake of the conversation, this is what we see on social media, and even as a married couple, we don't want none of the negative stuff that we see to taint the stuff that we already know. I mean, yeah, we can give our perspective on it, but we know how to keep the negative noise out of our relationship, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of couples do, and there's some that don't. But for speaking for us, I think that what we see on social media, we'll bring it up to one another and say, what do you think about this? And sometimes it becomes a very deep topic, and just to see, just to pick each other's minds. And that's one of the things I appreciate.
You know who else I want to hear from?
Who?
Hi, Steve.
Hey, y'all.
Hi, Steve.
So, Steve, first of all, our cousins, they love you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So one of the feedbacks that we've been getting is that they want to hear more of your perspective. You're like that common piece between the both of us.
Okay.
So So as someone who's a content creator and also a good plug, who records content for others through Roots Recording, yay!
Absolutely.
What is your take on this?
So my take is that sometimes people become a little parasocial. I don't know if you guys ever heard that word.
I have.
Parasocial, like basically they start to feel like they're a part of your life, even though it's just
okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people become parasocial, and it makes it like kind of hard for them to discern whether or not what they're seeing is real for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but when it comes down to like relationship stuff, like I'm single, so I try to take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said I try to avoid it, but I don't avoid it, but I more so take it with a grain of salt, because I feel like there's some voices that you need to listen to. There's some voices that you don't need to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always going to be somebody, like, because, the negative stuff gets the clicks. So they're going to frame it in a negative way to try to manipulate your perspective on it. And I feel like that's really the game. And you got to avoid the game. If you want entertainment, okay, yeah. But if you want actual information, then you gotta just watch the videos that don't have as many clicks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's a good video, like the Ellis's, like y'all said, like there's a good video, there's good relationships out there where they make content too. But if it's not from the horse's mouth, like it's not specifically from them, like if you're watching someone doing a breakdown of the top 10 reasons why celebrities got divorced or something like that, then no, it's gonna be a pointless waste of your time, and it's gonna mislead you, and you're gonna be jaded. And I never had a phase where I watch stuff like that, but I can see the damage that it can cause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. You see the damage that it can cause.
Yeah.
Because, and I think a lot of people don't have that perspective of trying to find out what the damage it could cause. Not too many people are actually sitting there and thinking like that when they're consuming things on social media.
Yeah, and you guys are transparent with your content, from what I understand. Like, especially if someone's like involved in the entire You Stuck With Me universe. Like, if they're in the TikTok, they're on the podcast, then it's like, you guys always say, like, our marriage isn't perfect, we're still working on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's something to respect. But a lot of people will just straight up pretend that their marriage is perfect because then they get more clicks.
Baby, it's hard to pretend with a 6'5" husband. I ain't gonna say. It's hard to pretend.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always said this. I guess we can alter the number now. The Marquise and Taylor that you saw 8 years ago is not the same Marquise that we are now. Marquise and Taylor that we are now. I mean, we're still growing. We're still learning things. Marriage, and also I think people miss the big context or the big thing about marriage is what you make it.
Mm.
So if you want an exciting marriage, you're going to have an exciting marriage. If you want a boring marriage, you're going to have a boring marriage. If you want a marriage where y'all just sit down and relax and talk a lot of the time, that's what you're going to get.
If you want a marriage that consists of eating, because I'm hungry right now, you can have that too.
Oh yeah, we definitely gotta eat. Because, look, there's no worse feeling when it comes to being hungry. There's no worse feeling when your stomach is growling. You feel it in your back.
No, the worst feeling about being hungry is having a hangry wife. You can tell the people about that. Bless you.
Thank you.
times. You tell people about having a hangry wife.
Oh yeah, when you're hangry, it's like watching a special because you gotta be careful. You know, when you reach, she might scratch. Just if I do what I usually do, you gonna probably laugh and people gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Some already do, but
It's like, don't freeze when you see her.
what are you talking about? I never freeze. But we also like to make lighter stuff. This is why a lot of the stuff that we put on internet, it's mostly out of fun and something to laugh about.
Agreed.
Yeah, we don't really post anything that's like super serious. Not that I can think of.
I can't stay serious for too long. I can't.
True.
I can't.
True.
And then the most wild, crazy stuff. Steve has seen most of it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you said that because some of the stuff we do bounce ideas off Steve and see what he thinks about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how Steve became stuck with us too. And apparently, I'm telling you, Steve, our cousins have been asking about you. They was like, we should incorporate you more.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to always contribute.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I'll get my camera. I got a camera pointing at me right now. It's just not on.
Yeah. But yeah.
But back to talking about relationships and social media. I would just say this: be careful what you consume.
Oh, be careful what you say to me, 'cause it might turn around on you.
That's a good point.
Be careful what you do to me,
'cause somebody might do it to you.
Oh,
Mm.
I think we should end it on that note.
That's a word. So beautiful. You want to tell people where they can find us?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I'm sorry. I'm hungry. I got hunger brain. But you want to drop the handles, bae?
Yes, I do. So you can find us on Instagram at YouStuckWithMe_podcast. That's USTUCKWITME_podcast. On Facebook, you can just type in You Stuck With Me podcast, and you'll be able to find us there. Thank you. Speaking of that, thank you for growing our page.
Yes.
It's growing. It did a lot of growing during that time off. So I like that.
I'm like, dang, y'all still love us when we not on the earth? That's love.
Definitely is.
That's love. Okay, I'm sorry.
On TikTok, you can find us at You Stuck With Me _podcast, the same as Instagram, USTUCKWITME _podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Just type in You Stuck With Me podcast. We have content there, videos. What else we have? Just we have clips of the episodes of our podcast, so you get to get a lot of content. We're trying to keep it going, trying to keep it growing. So you can find me personally on Instagram at mine_1 M1NE_1. Beautiful. They can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram and the app formerly known as Twitter on the Queen Points. That is PO1NTZ. Again, that is Queen Points PO1NTZ. And also, bae, we implement something new this season. You want to tell them where they can send us listener letters or where they can send us questions and we read them on air and answer them and all that fun stuff?
You guys can email us at youstuckwithme@gmail.com. That is USTUCKWITME@gmail.com. Once again, youstuckwithme@gmail.com. USTUCKWITME@gmail.com.
And this is it. This is the episode. This is your one and only and your favorite Taylor.
And this is your boy Marquise. Make sure you guys like, review, subscribe, and share, because when you do that, the algorithm goes up and we have more chances to spread our content and stuff. Let
me break it down for you in homegirl terms, because you got Mr. Google here. We would love for y'all to rate, review, like, share, and subscribe, because it helps us promote promote this positive, funny content with not just with your friends, but your friends' friends and your friends' friends and they family and Pookie, Mookie and them. So yeah.
Not Pookie, Mookie and them.
Yeah. So we appreciate it.
So once again, this is your boy Marquise.
And this is one and only your favorite Taylor.
And we're out.
Hey, come back.
Y'all stuck with us.
You stuck with us.
Peace out, y'all.
Later.